Hi, this is Gabriel Romero with ProAct. We're here in Huron, California to give you a little glimpse of melons. I'm here with Garrett Patricio of Westside Produce. Garrett, give me an idea of what it takes to harvest honeydews versus cantaloupes.
Well, cantaloupes and honeydews are a bit different in terms of the melon itself. It requires probably 5 to 14 passes in a melon field before you harvest the entire crop. With a honeydew crop, you're usually going through at a much slower pace, and you're probably covering the field 2 to 3 times.
So when it comes to those passes, has labor been very difficult for you as far as gathering your labor force? Because in the Salinas Valley, it's almost down to like 25%. So what is the difference for you?
Labor's certainly been a challenge. The labor makeup here in the Central Valley is slightly different than the Salinas Valley. Salinas relies primarily upon H-2A workers, so out-of-the-country workers that are here on behalf of that shipping company. We have a big harvest labor population, but as you're harvesting multiple commodities and multiple crops during the summertime, that's where the pressure and difficulty finding available labor is a bit more of a challenge. Of our 400-person workforce, most of those people have been with us for a long time. And they may go to other crops, they may go to other jobs in the winter months or the spring months, but they're always back for the cantaloupe harvest. And to have people that know what they're doing every single day is important, and important in harvesting at the right maturity.
Garrett, we have 2 different types of melons here. Give me the difference between them both.
So here, this is what we call a long shelf life melon. Long shelf life, just as it sounds, it lasts a long time on the shelf. So it's nice for a retailer, it's nice for somebody in a distribution center to have a product that's not going to break down. This is a Western shipper. Western shippers have been around for 30, 40 years. Its most common characteristic is the stem end. So the plant actually gives the fruit up. So you'll have a clean abscission from the plant. You also have a high straw color exterior. You're looking for a blossom end that's firm and doesn't have much give to it. And you're also looking for a smell. There's a smell associated with a Western shipper melon that sets it apart.
And this type?
So this is a long shelf life melon. This melon is actually cut from the plant, so you won't see that same abscission or stem end break away from the plant. It's cut away. So you're measuring maturity of the melon, and you've got a slightly different color to it. Oftentimes it's a little more fluorescent or a bit green in appearance. You can wait for color. You can wait for harvest. It lends itself to picking when the harvester or the grower's ready, as opposed to when the plant gives the melon up. So you have a little more flexibility in harvest here. And what you'll find with them is the bricks is extremely high. What we're looking for is not only high bricks in a range of 15, 16, 17, but also a flavor profile to match our old Western shipper varieties as well.
So we've been talking about bricks levels. Give me a definition of what that means when it comes to a melon.
So bricks is really the sugar content, what you find in terms of the soluble solids that are measured using a refractometer. That refractometer, you squeeze a little bit of juice into it and it gives you a reading on what the bricks is of a melon.
The USDA has requirements of 8 bricks, correct?
Right.
So when it comes to the West Side and customer expectations, what are the difficulties you see with the West Side melons versus the new variety that you're harvesting?
We have a standard in California that's 9, so it exceeds USDA standard. Yet most customers today are requiring something in excess of 10. When you look at achieving a 10 on an everyday basis in a Western shipper melon, sometimes it can be a challenge. The weather may not allow it. During periods of high heat, sometimes that bricks level is sucked back into the plant and it doesn't get translated to the fruit. What you'll find in some of these long shelf life varieties is they will continue to bricks, although you may not have the flavor. They will continue to bricks in excess of 10, 12, 14, 16. But really you don't want to harvest these before they're about 14 to 16 because they don't have the flavor of a Western shipper variety, even at a 9 or a 10. You take a bite, there's a flavor punch right when you taste it.
Yeah.
And there's a sugar punch. Taste that and tell me. It's sugar and it's like, ooh, that's really good. But suddenly you keep chewing and you go, okay, there's not a lot behind it. That's the difference between bricks and flavor.
Got you. We're here with Ted Terosian, Vice President of Custom Produce. Ted, give me a little information about the transition from the desert to Huron.
Well, this year it got off to a very late start. Due to cool weather back in May, where growers had struggles getting their crop planted on a timely basis, and consequently there became a gap. And but it's all working out now. The last couple 3 weeks have been very, very short with melons, cantaloupes, and honeydews. But now that we're into the middle of July, we're going to see much more production.
With the weather conditions here in Huron versus the desert, what are optimal growing conditions when it comes to cantaloupes and honeydews?
Anywhere from 95 to 105 degrees is going to be good for the plant, for the vine. We had extreme heat in the desert, and it really did have an effect on the yields concerning what they had to deal with. As far as here, so far everything looks good to go, and we're hoping that the weather stays consistent.
Ted, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Gabe.
It's been a pleasure doing 25 years of partnership with Custom Produce. Just like before, if there's any questions or concerns, please reach out to ProAct, and we'll see you next time.